Hello, everyone. My name is Katherine Kreidler with National Sports Media, and today I have the privilege to interview the 2024 Sports Media Association Broadcaster of the Year for Oregon, Nick Krupke. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Yeah, super cool. I feel privileged to be hanging out with a kid from Wake Forest from here in Portland, Oregon.
Yeah. First of all, congratulations on winning, and what was your reaction when you found out?
Oh, it's pretty cool. It's nice to be honored, right? I mean, I've been working
Mhm.
in here in Portland about 12 years and I did 8 before that. So I've been in the state for 20 years. So been nominated before and it's always nice to be in that group. And that was cool to get a call from Dave and say you
Mhm.
won. So it's always nice to be honored and get a little love from the people that you work with and call friends
Yeah.
and colleagues. So it was super cool.
That's awesome. Can you tell us a little bit how you got involved in sports, like where your interest started, and I guess your journey into where you are now?
Yeah, I that's my wife trying to squat down behind the computer here. It's not working.
Hi.
Yeah. She's on strike as a nurse here, so she's not working.
That's funny.
I always wanted to do sports. I mean, I played sports as a kid, and then I realized that I wasn't going to be very professional about it. I wasn't going to be very good, and so wanted to find another way to do it. So I did like newspaper class in high school. We had a radio club in high school, and then took the broadcasting course at Washington State and went through the Murrow School of Communication. And then from there, I really wanted to do radio, and I had a professor there my senior year that said you should try TV, and I was like, no, forget that. But I did, and then hosted a sports show, and then I got an internship at a TV station in Lewiston, Idaho,
Okay.
and from there, dogs here too as well. And then I got a real job, a real big boy job in Billings, Montana, some 20 something years ago. So just it's what I've done, what I've enjoyed, the passion, and that's where it's brought us to today.
Could you tell us a little bit more about your first job in Montana? What was that like? Any early challenges you faced, how you overcame them?
Yeah, one of the challenges was that was 2004.
Okay.
The sports car I had was a stick shift, and I hadn't driven a stick shift, so I had to figure that out on
Oh,
my own.
wow.
That was one of the first
Big
challenges I
challenge.
remember,
Yeah.
right? Yeah. First time living alone, away, paying bills. Those school loans came in as well.
Hmm.
So that was part of growing up. Looking back on those times, like actually like making a budget and going, oh, I can't afford to buy that right now. Yeah, that's the first time it really kind of came into mind. So, but a great time in Montana. I was there for a little over a year. A lot of good times there. Wintertime was tough, but we
I
made it
was gonna
happen.
say,
Sure.
how was the
Yeah.
winter?
Yeah. Well, you know what? It's cool when you can wear a big, thick jacket and then some sunglasses, but that wind chill gets -0,
Yeah.
like sub like the 20s and teens. You got to plug the truck in with an engine block. If they even have those
Oh,
these days. Yeah, different times.
geez. What were your roles and like responsibilities for your job in Montana?
Yeah, very similar to what it is today. Find a story, shoot it, write it, edit it,
Hmm.
present it. Now I'm blessed here in Portland to have a photographer and an editor that I work with all the time. His name is Kevin Lund. And where he goes, I go, he goes. And we've been like that for the last almost 12 years. So that's been a big change in the job. I know that I'm pretty blessed to still have that because a lot of people, even in this same market, don't have a photographer with them,
Hmm.
which is sad on a lot of levels. But it makes you learn every bit, every part that you need to know, right? And
Yeah.
so, very much from that first job, I remember like anybody could read highlights and pretend they know. And my biggest challenge was like being a good storyteller, and that's what I think, best known as now, and what I enjoy the most,
Hmm.
and be kind of have freedom to be creative. That's We don't have a sports cast here necessarily, but I'm on 5 nights a week with some kind of feature. If it isn't some big game, like big event, then it's something that I'm digging up and telling a story. So that's what I enjoy the most.
Do you have any memorable, special, or like fun stories that you remember?
Some of the cool stuff we've been able to do, we're in Portland, so we're very much Seahawks region when it comes to NFL
Yeah.
TV. So we had a chance to go cover the Super Bowl twice, Super Bowl
Wow.
48 in New
Yeah.
York, and then 49 the next year in Arizona. That was quite a thrill. We had The All-Star game came through Seattle a couple summers ago. Had a
Hmm.
lot of players here from Oregon. Adley Rutschman's one of them, who we covered when he was in high school at Sherwood, and then of course All-American catcher in Oregon State when the Beavers won the national championship. So doing that, we're very close to Nike. So when they have events, I'm a kid that grew up in the Northwest, so Ken Griffey Jr. was my guy. I've met Ken
Yeah.
Griffey Jr. a couple times. Super cool, normal guy. That was very cool, but really, truly, I mean, we do a lot of cool stuff. I mean, we just went to the Rose Bowl with the Ducks. When the teams around here win, that's good. MLS Cup with the Timbers or the Thorns and the WSL Championship. It's been a while for the Blazers to be in the playoffs, but 2019
Hmm.
going to the Western Conference Finals and traveling down to Oakland when they played the Warriors and going to Denver. That's the cool stuff, but really it's the meat and potato stuff is the everyday stuff. It's the small college stuff. It's the high school stuff that really is kind of the heartbeat of what we do.
Yeah. Didn't Ken Griffey Jr. play for the Reds for a little bit?
He did. That's where he got traded
Okay.
to. That's where his dad
Yes.
played, grew up, so we went back home there. Yep.
Okay. Because obviously he's like an icon, but I was like, I think there's a little Reds history back there because I'm a
There
big Reds
was a little
fan.
bit. Yep.
Okay, awesome. And so what does like a typical day in your life look like now?
Like today, like I work night shift, so that's like 3 p.m., 2:30, 3 p.m. to about 11 o'clock. Last night it was 4 to midnight. Just depends
Okay.
on what's going on. And today it's going to certainly be wall-to-wall snow coverage, so there won't be really any time for sports. So our plan is we're very close to Washington. So Camas is a big city, kind of next to Vancouver, Washington. We're going to go shoot a story up there. So I'm waiting to see if Coach tells me if the gym is open or not yet. But typically a normal day, like in this kind of the slower time of the season where it's All-Star break for the NBA, so there's nothing with the Blazers right now. MLS season hasn't began yet with the Timbers, so
Hmm.
it's finding those high school stories. So I've had them set up like a week in advance. We'd be going to a game or a practice and doing some interviews and coming back and putting it together to run either tonight or tomorrow. So really, I'm in the mode of it's pretty one solid 2.5, 3 minute feature per day, which I think is still unique in a lot of markets, but it's putting the pieces together to make it happen and share that story.
Yeah. What's been like the most rewarding part of your job?
Wow, I mean, last night we went to Tualatin High School, is one of the bigger high schools here, and they have a unified program, which is kids with and without intellectual disabilities.
Okay.
And just the people there that are so thankful, grateful that you're helping share that good side of life. There's so much negative that's out there in the
Yeah.
media space all over. And so try to bring some of the joy. There is a lot of good stuff in life. There's a lot of good people doing great things to highlight that. And so when somebody comes up and you can see the true passion and gratefulness in their eyes, the way that they greet you, or this the reaction to maybe a story that we even did a week or two ago, and like, wow, that really got to me, really hit me in the heart right there. That's the stuff that you make that can stick with people, and to really celebrate a lot of the good when there's so much that's kind of tilted the other way. Help try to
Right.
level that out a little bit with reality. There was a lot of good
Yeah.
stuff.
That's incredible. Are there any stories that you'd like to share? Anything that particularly has a special place in your heart?
Gosh, there's a lot of them. I mean, you know, really in my world now where I'm married with 4 kids, all active in sports, um, working night shift. I can get them to school. I can see them quickly a little bit after school and then go. I'm off on Mondays and Tuesdays. That's kind of how it works with,
Hmm.
sports happens on the weekends. So if you're going to get into sports, you're going to work weekends. Here I am,
Right.
it's 44, and I've worked weekends my entire life since college. That's the way that it is. That's when sports happens. Um, your question was, what was your question? Your question was,
Any like heartfelt stories? Anything that like really sticks out or like moved you, I guess.
I mean, I run into a lot of them with just telling
Yeah,
people
I bet.
stories and
Yeah.
people that are really overcoming. We had one a couple weeks ago, a kid that just graduated from Woodburn High School, completely born blind, but he's picked up a passion for broadcasting and
Oh,
calls the boys to girls games there at Woodburn High School. And his uh, idol is the guy that does the PA at the Blazer games. Mark Mason's his name,
okay.
and I've known Mark for years, and so I sent Mark a text and said, "Hey man, this kid from Woodburn wants to meet you," and so um, was able to get the Blazers to get them a couple complimentary tickets, and he came up with his dad and his buddy, and was able to meet Mark, and Mark let him do the the check 1 2 3 on the mic before the game
Oh,
started there and around
yeah.
the arena, and the kid was just beaming with joy. That's the kind of stuff that's special that really makes a difference to people in their own lives and hopefully to the viewers at home or online or wherever they're at watching it, to kind of pick it up and really celebrate that good stuff.
That's really amazing. Um, do you have any advice for students or young professionals looking to break into the industry?
It's so different. I mean, I graduated 20 something years ago now, and it's so different from then. I was
Yeah.
making multiple VHS copies of tapes and putting them in bubble mailers around the country, going broke trying to do that. It's so much different now. Easier to apply for jobs, less jobs to have, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, I don't know if the pay is much different than when I began. I mean, if I remember right, it was like $18,000 my first year out of college, which
Oh,
sounds ridiculous,
yeah.
but it can't be that much different than it is now. You got to love it. Got to have a passion for it, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's not going to break the bank, but if it's something you can go and not say it's work, that's kind of how I feel about it.
Yeah.
It's a passion that I have, and if you have that passion, keep shooting for it. There's certainly tough times, rough days to get to where you want to get to, but keep grinding at it and be your own critic, right? Really watch how you're doing it and kind of step outside yourself and go, does that engage me? Is that important to me? Would I watch that? Would I click on that? Would I change the channel? Um, don't be too hard on yourself, but be hard on yourself to really, and you know, this kind of the industry is where there's a lot of people that are going to come fly with some just negativity at your way, no matter what you do.
Mm-hmm.
Block them, mute them, restrict them.
Yeah.
Don't feed into them. Um, it's not the vocal majority, sure, that make those comments. So just know that you are liked by more. People don't always say things about that, but you can get negative pretty quick, right, in your head. So
Mm-hmm.
just keep it on the positive tip and keep grinding away. Of
That's great. Well, thank you so much.
course.
This was wonderful. I think those are all the questions I have.
Okay, super cool.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Kat,
Well,
I hope you keep pursuing
congratulations.
your passion.
Thank you. I will.
Yeah, go Demon
Um,
Deacons.
yes, go Deeks. Well, thank you so much
Deeks.
for your time and
Bet.
congratulations.
Thank you.